bubble guts, Palumboism, HGH belly, whatever you call it, these distended midsections have dominated bodybuilding stages for decades, from Ronnie Coleman's pregnancy-like protrusion.
Okay, all right there. Ooh, you gotta get this right. It's a heavyweight. Oh!
To Big Lenny's catastrophic balloon.
Well, look at this, Dale. That's something you'll never have. Layers and layers of abdominals. And I tell you what, Dale, you can come here and punch me as hard as you can.
To Phil Heath's hernia horror and Kai Green's bottle shape, we're counting down the most outrageous, gut-spilling moments in bodybuilding history. Ronnie Coleman. Yeah, lightweight, baby. Except when it came to Ronnie Coleman's midsection at the 2003 Mr. Olympia, where the 8-time Mr. Olympia tipped the scales at a monstrous 300 pounds on stage, sporting what fans lovingly dubbed a pregnancy in his back poses.
Hey, I had to hold him to myself.
The King's gut became so legendary that YouTube videos recalculating Olympia results without bubble guts have racked up millions of views, with some arguing he should have lost titles to leaner competitors. Coleman himself admitted to heavy HGH use in his Netflix documentary, and experts like Dr. Thomas O'Connor attribute the distension to synergistic factors including high-dose growth hormone causing visceral organ growth, insulin promoting fat storage around organs, and those infamous 1,000+ gram carb loads for fullness. His 2001 Olympia appearance showed early signs when carb bloat nearly cost him the prejudging lead to Jay Cutler, but by 2005, at his heaviest 300 pounds, his gut was spilling dramatically in the challenge round, yet he still took his 8th Sandow. The controversy? Coleman won 8 straight Olympias with that bloated midsection, proving size trumped aesthetics in that era. But the toll was real. His gut-related core strain contributed to the 13+ surgeries that left him wheelchair-dependent by 2025. Still, Reddit's bodybuilding community remains divided. Detractors call it an unappealing HGH bloat disaster, while defenders insist gut size wins. He dwarfed everyone. Love him or hate him, Ronnie's bubble guts set the blueprint for an entire generation of mass monsters. Speaking of mass monsters who paid the price for freaky size, let's talk about a 7-time champion whose gut literally exploded on stage. Phil Heath.
Where did the name The Gift come from?
Well, it wasn't me, okay? It was an old roommate that I had. I was already getting into the sport of bodybuilding, and he was like, bro, I have the perfect nickname for you. I was like, what is it? He was like, The Gift. I was like, seriously? You couldn't have picked a better name than this.
The Gift's curse came gift-wrapped in a hernia that nearly killed him. Phil Heath dominated the Olympia stage from 2011 to 2017, but his bubble gut became the elephant, or should we say, the beach ball, in the room. Unlike typical Palumboism cases, Heath's distension was asymmetrical, ballooning outward in a way that had fans screaming robbed for Big Ramy at the 2017 Olympia. The controversy reached fever pitch when Louis Marco's viral breakdown suggested the judges were playing politics by awarding Heath the title despite his protruding midsection. But here's where it gets real. Heath wasn't just dealing with HGH-induced organ hypertrophy like his peers. He had congenital hernias from age 2 that failed, spawning upper and lower tiers that trapped his intestines. In a jaw-dropping revelation, Heath admitted his intestines exploded out during poses, creating a life-threatening strangulation risk that required emergency surgery post-2017. The surgeons had to push back 5 inches of intestinal tissue. Fan reactions split hard. Reddit roasted him as an entitled dick with HGH bloat, but others showed sympathy once the hernia was revealed, noting he'd been competing with a legitimate medical emergency. At the 2018 Olympia, post-surgery, Heath couldn't control his gut between poses, and Sean Roden dethroned him. Dexter Jackson weighed in, saying Heath's lack of size and bubble gut issues were evident at the 20-20 comeback, where he placed 4th. Heath's titles remain intact, 7 Olympias, but his gut literally shortened his reign, forcing surgeries and comebacks that never recaptured his prime. But if you think Heath's hernia was bad, wait until you hear about the guy whose gut earned him the title Stage 4 Disaster. Big Lenny.
Well, look at this, Dale. That's something you'll never have. Layers and layers of abdominals. And I tell you what, Dale, you can come here and punch me as hard as you can.
Let's be real. Big Lenny's bubble gut wasn't just a bodybuilding anomaly, it was a medical marvel. Standing 6'3" and weighing between 330 pounds at his peak, Leonard Person became the poster child for what happens when HGH, insulin, and a complete disregard for health collide spectacularly. Unlike the pros who at least attempted damage control, Lenny embraced his distended midsection with the enthusiasm of a man who'd already checked out of giving a single care. Fans and forums dubbed it the worst bubble gut ever, even even suggesting the condition be renamed Lennyism instead of Palumboism. His gut was so severe it dwarfed his 20-inch arms, collapsed his chest inward, and made vacuums physically impossible. The causes: chronic HGH and insulin abuse that grew his intestines and liver to cartoonish proportions, compounded by eating over 1,000 grams of carbs daily and diabetes-induced bloating that he joked off as genetic flow. Lenny rose to cult fame through the Del Rey Misfits YouTube series, where his gut wobbled during lifts and eclipsed his posing trunks in viral clips that racked up millions of views. At the 2017 NPC Ruby Championship, his gut spilled over his trunks at 320+ pounds, earning him second place in the heavyweight division. Judges noted his mass but docked him hard for aesthetics. Tragically, Lenny passed away on October 10, 2024 at age 60 from congestive heart failure, a complication likely tied to decades of PED abuse and diabetes. Reddit's bodybuilding community mourned him as a GOAT whose iconic gut will go down in history, but also acknowledged he was a cautionary tale of unchecked extremes. From Lenny's tragic end to another mass monster whose bubble gut fueled one of bodybuilding's most heated rivalries, Kai Greene.
The one, the only, Mr. Kai Greene!
The Predator's bottle-shaped midsection became his kryptonite in the quest for Olympia gold. Kai Greene's bubble gut emerged around 2012-2014, ballooning his waist to over 40 inches and undermining the artistic symmetry that made him a fan favorite. Unlike Heath's hernia excuse, Greene's distension was textbook Palumboism: high-dose HGH and insulin causing visceral organ hypertrophy, extreme carb loading exceeding 1,000 grams for that coveted glycogen fullness, and genetics that gave him hypertrophied obliques from his legendary leg work. At the 2014 Mr. Olympia, Greene's turtle shell gut failed dramatically during vacuum attempts in his heated exchange with Phil Heath, handing Heath another controversial win and leaving fans screaming robbed. 3 consecutive runner-up finishes from 2012 to 2014 cemented Greene as the best to never win, with many arguing his gut cost him the titles he deserved based on pure mass and conditioning. But here's where it gets spicy. Just 6 days after skipping the 2015 Olympia due to contract disputes, Greene guest posed at the Arnold Classic Madrid, looking absolutely bloated, his gut wobbling through extravagant routines, while fans wondered if he'd given up. The 2023 controversy reignited when a shredded workout video had fans screaming, "Lay off the HGH, my guy," questioning whether he'd relapsed into heavy PED use. Greene addressed it philosophically, saying, "My body tells my story, flaws and all, but the damage was done." Reddit debates whether he fixed his gut or just learned to hide it better through posing, with some praising his control and others mocking the bottle shape that never fully disappeared. His 9 pro wins and 6 Olympia appearances secured his legacy, but without that gut, fans believe he'd have 3 Sandos collecting dust. While Kai's gut cost him titles, the next competitor's turtle shell became his calling card. Marcus Rule. The German beast's bubble gut was so massive it had its own gravitational pull. At 5'10" and 310 pounds off-season, Marcus Rule's turtle shell midsection protruded like a cartoon character who'd swallowed a basketball. What made Rule's case fascinating was how his god-tier upper body, 24-inch arms, 58-inch chest, and boulder shoulders somehow made the gut less offensive. Fans joked that his massive delts hid the distension, though side poses revealed the truth. Dude was pregnant with a future mass monster. At the 2004 Mr. Olympia, Rule placed a career-best 5th at 280 pounds, but his gut's protrusion in back, doubles, and mandatories docked symmetry points that cost him the podium. Judges favored Ronnie Coleman's conditioning, despite Ronnie also sporting a gut, leading to accusations of bias, and if not for the gut, Rule would have beaten Cutler, debates that still rage on forums. By the 2009 Mr. Olympia, at 275 pounds, his gut had ballooned into a full turtle shell that overshadowed his fading conditioning, earning him 10th place in what became his swan song. Reddit's bodybuilding community is split. Some call him an absolute unit whose mass was unbeatable, while others roast him as a blocky gut sideshow who was overrated. Rule addressed it lightly in interviews, blaming off-season bloat and PEDs, but insisted, "I built the biggest. Why hide it?" The gut amplified his beast reputation, driving YouTube fame with compilations racking up over 500,000 views, but it undeniably cost him Olympia gold. Without it, consensus says he'd have won at least 1 Sandow. With it, he's a cult legend symbolizing the 2000s excess, but Rule's turtle shell pales in comparison to the recent controversy that shocked the 2025 Olympia. Nick Walker. The mutant's bubble gut controversy at the 2025 Mr. Olympia was a social media wildfire. Nick Walker entered as a top contender, having won the 2021 Arnold Classic on his first try and placed third at the 2022 Olympia, but his sixth place finish at 2025 Olympia, 258 pounds, was blamed squarely on his distended midsection. Fans and critics erupted online, with official IFBB photos showing Walker's gut spilling dramatically in side shots, reigniting debates about HGH abuse in modern bodybuilding's new era. Unlike veterans who developed guts over decades, Walker's bloat emerged rapidly post-2024, widening his waist to over 40 inches and creating an asymmetrical, blocky appearance that clashed with his dense upper body. Reddit threads roasted him mercilessly. Too wide gut, no flow, throws off physique, and bubble gut stage, 3 to 4, unesthetic, blocky disaster, dominated discussions with hundreds of upvotes. The controversy intensified when Brazilian fans on X joked Nick Palumbolismo Walker Pernambuco, pregnant horse gut, while others questioned whether he'd suffered an HGH relapse. Walker defended himself in interviews, claiming the sixth place was due to mistiming his peak for the night prejudging, not gut issues, but his coach Kyle Wilkes contradicted this, calling it a rookie timing error that was corrected quickly. The drama exploded when Walker fired Wilkes post-Olympia, vowing to self-coach for the 2026 Arnold Classic's $750,000 purse. Generation Iron noted Walker claimed bubble guts existed in the 90s too, arguing cameras just hid them better, a defense that fell flat with fans who accused him of denial. Walker's recent controversy connects directly to the OG, who gave bubble gut its name. Dave Palumbo. The man who became a medical condition. Dave Palumbo's bubble gut was so severe in the early 1990s that the bodybuilding community coined Palumboism to describe the phenomenon of distended abdomens despite shredded physiques. At around 280 pounds, Palumbo's midsection ballooned to twice its normal size, with flat muscles and extreme atrophy-like appearance that ended his competitive career by the early 2000s. At the 1997 NPC Nationals, his gut protruded dramatically in front double biceps at 260 pounds, making vacuums fail and drawing judge ire for aesthetics. Fans called him finished. The 2000 NPC Nationals became his most infamous appearance. His gut ballooned to pregnancy-like proportions in back poses, with hypertrophied obliques making his limbs appear atrophied by comparison. It dominated post-show buzz and hastened his retirement, as judges consistently docked him for poor symmetry despite his dense back and vascular arms. Palumbo later founded RX Muscle and Species Nutrition, becoming a respected coach, known for low-carb prep strategies, but the bubble gut overshadowed his innovations. Reddit discussions are split. Admirers call him a great ambassador for his knowledge, while critics mock him as a terrible ambassador whose gut grotesquely distorted bodybuilding. In his Dar Ask Dave YouTube series, Palumbo addressed it sparingly, attributing his distended gut to off-season bloating from massive caloric surpluses and growth hormone use that eroded abdominal control, claiming it reversed post-retirement upon stopping PEDs. The term Palumboism entered the lexicon, boosting RX Muscle's visibility with gut-focused videos garnering millions of views. Health risks like hernias and organ strain fueled ethical debates on PED excesses, especially after his 2004 HGH conviction added scrutiny. By 2025, post-retirement reversal showed his gut normalized, reinforcing coaching credibility, but it lingers as bodybuilding's starkest warning label. From the condition's namesake to the pioneer who many argue started it all. Dorian Yates. The Shadow this night didn't just bring high-intensity training, he brought the blueprint for mass monster midsections. Dorian Yates' bubble gut emerged around 1994-1997, subtly widening his waist to approximately 38 inches during his sixth consecutive Mr. Olympia reign. What made Yates' case controversial was its pioneering nature. Before him, bodybuilding emphasized Arnold-era aesthetics, but Yates' 265 to 280 pounds on stage shifted standards toward freak size at any cost. On Joe Rogan's podcast, Yates explained that organs don't actually expand from HGH. Instead, it's mesentery fat hypertrophy around organs from drugs and diet, a clarification that did little to stop accusations he'd ruined bodybuilding. Reddit's bodybuilding threads debate fiercely. Yates pioneered modern bodybuilding for better or worse, changing criteria for winning, versus pregnant gut ridiculous, Ninja Turtle bubble gut, discussions with thousands of upvotes. Critics argue Yates opened Pandora's juice box, pioneering the bubble guts that prioritized mass over symmetry. His 1996 German Grand Prix at 275 pounds was dubbed the best ever on stage by fans, yet his gut protruded in back doubles, showing early signs of the condition that would plague successors. By the 1997 Mr. Olympia, his final win at 265 pounds, the torn tricep combined with a ballooned midsection in his challenge against Nasser, L's own body sparked gifted accusations, with some arguing ninth place Ronnie Coleman deserved the crown. Post-retirement, Yates' gut reversed via PED cessation, proving the condition was dose-dependent and reversible, lending credibility to his DY nutrition coaching empire. Love him him or hate him, Yates' subtle blockiness foreshadowed the Palumboism epidemic that would engulf the sport. Yates pioneered it, but the next athlete turned it into a cultural phenomenon spanning wrestling and bodybuilding: Scott Steiner. Big Papa Pump's bubble gut was as inflated as his ego. Scott Steiner's transformation from Athletic Steiner Brothers tag team champion to the roid rage genetic freak included a midsection that ballooned to over 40 inches, visible even through chainmail vests and wrestling gear. At 6'1" and 276 pounds during his WCW peak, Steiner's gut protruded like a turtle shell, sparking steroids, chants from fans who weren't buying his 2006 shoot interview denial. "You can make all the accusations you want, but I never failed a drug test," a claim contradicted by visible evidence and later arrests. The controversy peaked at the 2000 WCW Starrcade, where Steiner won the World Heavyweight Championship against Sid Vicious, with his guts spilling dramatically in wrestling trunks, making power moves look labored and inviting roid rage accusations tied to backstage incidents and fan assaults. His 2003 TNA promo became the stuff of memes. Steiner math distracted fans from his gut and chest separation issues, but it was hard to ignore the HGH-induced bloat that had him looking like he'd swallowed a beach ball. Arn Anderson later called him unrecognizable during the Big Papa Pump era, joking he could win Mr. Olympia, meant as a dig at his bloated physique. Reddit discussions mock him as having HGH gut-bloated pig, roid code silence, while others praise his athleticism pre-transformation. The gut accelerated his decline. Slowed mobility meant fewer high-flying moves, inviting injuries like the 2002 drop foot that ended his WWE run and contributed to health issues, including a 2120 heart collapse. Bleacher Report brutally called him a disgrace and washed-up joke from roids in 2008, cementing his legacy as wrestling's cautionary tale of PED abuse. From wrestling rings to Olympia stages, the next champion's gut became his career's anchor: Mamdou Elsbieh. Big Ramy's bubble gut wasn't just big, it was pharaoh-sized. The Egyptian mass monster's distended midsection intensified post-2016 as his stage weight hit 310+ pounds, expanding his waist to over 40 inches and creating what fans called a pumpkin-shaped or balloon gut that clashed spectacularly with his etched quads and arms. The 2017 Mr. Olympia controversy became a flashpoint. Ramy placed third behind Phil Heath, with his gut protruding dramatically in the challenge round, leading to mass-robbed accusations from fans who argued his superior size should have earned him the title. Reddit threads exploded. Ramy bigger, no excuse for Phil's bubble, robbed, versus Ramy's pumpkin gut unaesthetic, mass monster fail. Debates with hundreds of upvotes that still rage years later. By the 2020 Olympia, when Ramy won his first Sando at 315 pounds, his ball gut foiled vacuum attempts in the Brandon Curry challenge, yet his sheer mass triumphed amid COVID restrictions. Defending champion in 2021, Ramy's dominance seemed unstoppable until the 2022 Olympia, where his fifth-place finish at 312 pounds was blamed on post-title bloat that melted his conditioning against Hadi Chupan. Reddit roasted, "Vain gains overpowered, but gut-wrecked waist, synthol quads." The synthol accusation stemmed from lumpy shoulder and quad injections costing around $600 per 100 milliliters, with fans questioning if oil abuse compounded his HGH-induced distension. Generation Iron's Phil Heath even mocked Ramy's bubble gut in a 2018 video, subtly throwing shade at his competitor's ballooning midsection. X debates raged. Ramy's ball gut era over. Judges sour on Blocky, signaling the sport's aesthetic pivot. Ramy's gut propelled 2 Olympia wins, but hastened his decline, with injuries and coaching fallout contributing to 2023-2024 Olympia withdrawals and 2020 Arnold Classic 5th place that sparked retirement rumors at age 41. But Ramy's recent struggles pale against the veteran whose gut became a podcast teaching moment: Victor Martinez. The Dominican Dominator's bubble gut evolved like a fine wine, gradually, inevitably, and with age-related complications. Victor Martinez's Palumboism developed post-2007 Arnold Classic peak, transforming his tapered waist into a turtle shell that ballooned to over 40 inches during his 30s and 40s. Unlike younger competitors whose guts emerged from reckless PED abuse, Martinez's case highlighted age as a compounding factor. In his 2023 Generation Iron podcast, he admitted it did happen. Age makes it harder. Hernias extend the stomach slightly, differentiating farm-grade versus pharmaceutical-grade growth hormone, and warning that black market junk worsens distension. Martinez became bodybuilding's unexpected educator on gut prevention, offering tips like avoiding processed foods, using probiotics, and colonics, practical advice that earned respect from fans tired of denial. His 2018 Mr. Olympia comeback at age 45, placing third at 255 pounds, saw his gut bonanza in full bloom during the Heath challenge, with fans calling it an age and PED relic that symbolized the 2000s veteran's decline. The 2011 2011 Arnold Classic Madrid win at 265 pounds. Post-sister's murder and immigration drama showed his gut protruding in back doubles, starting the age bloat buzz that would define his later career. By 2020's Arnold Classic 9th place at age 47, Martinez's body set enough, forcing retirement. Following emergency surgery in July 2025 for an undisclosed but severe condition, speculation linked it to gut-related complications, organ strain from decades of high-dose PEDs and bloating. Martinez's transparency stands out. Rather than denying or deflecting, he's owned the issue, using his platform to warn younger athletes and advocate gut health through proper nutrition and moderation. Martinez's honest approach contrasts sharply with the next competitor's hypocritical roasting of rivals, King Kamali. The Persian Pearl's bubble gut was as bloated as his trash talk. King Kamali's Palumboism manifested mid-career around 2003-2006, ballooning his waist to over 40 inches and creating a 10-gallon drum swell that eclipsed his Persian Pearl aesthetics. Ironic for an exercise physiology graduate who literally studied how to avoid such conditions. At the 2004 Mr. Olympia, Kamali placed a career-best third at 230 pounds, but his gut protruded like a turtle shell during his famous robot routine, foiling the dramatic poses that made him a fan favorite. The hypocrisy reached peak comedy when Kamali mocked rival Craig Titus's physique in 2006. Photos while sporting his own massive gut. Forums erupted. Huge gut, no separation, worst pro ever, and roid gut return. Stick fork in Queen Kamali, savaging his contradictions. RX Muscle forums in 2006 predicted he was about to pee from his gut, lamenting how regression from his 2001 Arnold Classic 4th place, where he beat Kevin Levrone on density and posing, to 2006's bloated alien 7th place symbolized PED toll. YouTube's 2019 evolution video showing Kamali's physique deterioration sparked Broscience's commentary. Physio degree yet bubble. Knows how to fix it? Nah. Highlighting the irony of his education failing to prevent distension. Kamali addressed it lightly in a 2019 YouTube video, admitting gut grew with size, knew better as physio, but chased freak status. A rare acknowledgement that did little to erase the damage. His 2005 San Francisco Pro win at 235 pounds featured a drummed gut in back doubles, and by the 2006 Arnold Classic, his ballooned midsection in the lineup against Jay Cutler had fans joking he was pop ready. The gut accelerated his fade from contender to character, forcing 2006 retirement at age 34 with gut regrets outweighing wins. Kamali's hypocritical roasting pales against the tragic injury that compounded the final competitor's distension. Pierre Fuks. The Swiss monster's bubble gut became secondary to his career-ending catastrophe. Pierre Fuks's Palumboism emerged late career around 1999-2002, distending his waist to over 40 inches with a veiny, asymmetrical swell that clashed dramatically with his legendary back. At 6'1" and up to 300 pounds on stage, Fuks boasted one of the widest backs ever measured at 30 inches across. Reddit's 2021 thread called his 1996 Mr. Olympia debut an alien shot, where his gut spoiled his shocking back development. The bursting drum, distension visible even in his 8th place pro debut at 275 pounds. The 1999 Night of Champions runner-up finish at 285 pounds against Kevin Levrone showcased his turtle shell protruding in mandatories, with post-show speculation blaming rebound PEDs. But May 2002 changed everything. During a Flex magazine photo shoot at Gold's Gym Fullerton, Fuks attempted a 700-pound squat without safety bars, collapsed, and tore all 4 quadriceps on his left leg while snapping the patella tendon on his right, dubbed the squat heard round the world. 2 months hospitalized, 3 months therapy, 6 months access, 6 months wheelchair bound, and he lost approximately 100 pounds of muscle. Broscience noted fans were disappointed, saying his idol status regressed as his gut spiraled out of control post-accident. Rebound drugs allegedly amplified the alien bloat during recovery. In a 2017 RX Muscle interview, Dave Palumbo called Fuks's gut worse than today's, attributing it to pig eating and failed sodium pulls. Fuks reflected in a 2025 Overcome podcast about gear in the 90s, gut from chasing size, new risks, but freak called. Following knee replacement surgery in 2020 and another undisclosed procedure in June 2025, Fuks trains upper body lightly, mentoring as a resilient relic while fostering over 100 rescue cats. His bubble gut, combined with the squat tragedy, makes him bodybuilding's ultimate what if. 9 pro shows, but accident and gut sealed his fate as the Swiss tragedy. Here's where we draw the curtain, and thanks for staying tuned. For more of such content, click the card showing on the screen.